Stop being a manager of your circumstances and start being the creator of your destiny. Most people are living their lives on pause, waiting for the right time that never comes, but I'm telling you right now, your life doesn't change when the world changes. It changes when you change, when you grab the controls of your own mind and demand a higher standard of yourself than ever before. The power of state is the absolute foundation of everything you will ever achieve, because the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the state you live in. You've seen it before. You could have all the talent in the world, the best strategy on the planet, and a roadmap to $1 billion. But if you are in a low energy, fearful, or hesitant state, you will do absolutely nothing with those tools. Most people think they need more resources, more money, more time, more connections. But the truth is that resources are never the problem. The problem is a lack of resourcefulness, and resources is a direct byproduct of your mental and emotional state in this very moment. If you are operating out of a state of overwhelmed or exhausted, your brain literally cannot access the parts of itself that solve problems or create breakthroughs. You become a victim of your biology. But when you learn to shift your state into one of absolute certainty, boldness, or playfulness, you suddenly see answers where you previously saw walls. This isn't some positive thinking fluff. This is practical psychology. You have to understand that you can change your state in a heartbeat through two primary levers, your physiology and your focus. Think about it. How do you stand when you're depressed? Your shoulders are slumped, your head is down, and your breathing is shallow. You are literally signaling to your nervous system to shut down. But if you throw your shoulders back, fill your lungs with air, and move your body with explosive intensity, you change your biochemistry instantly. You go from being a spectator to being a gladiator. You cannot feel defeated while moving like a champion. Then you back that up with focus. Whatever you focus on, you feel. If you focus on what's missing or what could go wrong, you're going to be paralyzed. But if you focus on what you can control and the result you are committed to, your state shifts into one of power. Success is a momentum game, and you cannot get momentum if you're waiting for the mood to strike you. You have to be the creator of that mood. You have to train yourself to trigger a peak state on command, so that when the pressure is on and the stakes are high, you don't shrink, you expand. You don't wait for the world to excite you, you bring the fire to the world. You have to understand that success in any area of your life, your business, your relationships, your health, is 80% psychology and only 20% mechanics. Most people are obsessed with the mechanics. They want the how-to. They spend years looking for the perfect strategy, the secret investment tip, or the latest productivity hack, thinking that if they just find the right external tool, their lives will magically transform. But how many people do you know who have the best strategy, the best education, and all the right opportunities, yet they still don't produce results? They're paralyzed. They're overanalyzing. They're getting ready to get ready while the world passes them by. That's because the mechanics don't matter if your psychology is broken. If you have $1 million strategy but a 1-cent belief system, that strategy is worthless. Your inner world, your beliefs, your values, your story is the invisible force that determines whether you will actually execute on what you know. We've all been there. You know what you need to do to lose weight? You know what you need to do to grow your income? The mechanics are usually simple. Eat less, move more, add more value, make more calls. But why don't we do it? Because we have a psychological conflict. We have a story that says, I'm not good enough, or it's not the right time, or what if I fail? That story is a poison that kills execution. You can give a person a map to a gold mine, but if they believe the journey is too dangerous, or that they don't deserve the goal, they'll never even start walking. Success is a mental game. It's about mastering the why so the how becomes easy. When your psychology is aligned, when you are certain, when you have total clarity and a burning must behind your actions, you will find the mechanics. You will create the strategy. You will break through walls because your mind won't let you stop. Most people are stopped by their own shadows. They fight themselves more than they fight the competition. You have to stop being your own biggest obstacle. You have to stop negotiating with yourself. When you master your psychology, you stop looking for excuses and you start looking for a way. You turn your shoulds into musts. You stop being a manager of your circumstances and you become a creator of your destiny. The 20%, the mechanics, is just the vehicle, but your psychology is the engine that drives it forward. If the engine is dead, the car isn't going anywhere no matter how shiny the paint looks on the outside. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. Most people live their lives as if they are a leaf in the wind, blown around by the economy, by their upbringing, by their boss, or by the current political climate. They point to their conditions and say, this is why I am where I am. They say, I'd be successful if I had more money, or I'd be happy if my partner treated me differently. But that is a lie that keeps you powerless. If conditions determine success, then no one born into poverty would ever become wealthy, and no one who faced a tragedy would ever find joy again. We know that's not true. What changes a life isn't the deck of cards you're dealt. It's how you decide to play the hand. A real decision is not a preference. It's not something you say you'll do if you have time or if the stars align. A real decision comes from the Latin root decidere, which means to cut off. It means cutting off any other possibility except the one you have committed to. It means there is no plan B, no retreat, and no turning back. When you make a true decision, you shift your entire identity. You stop being someone who is trying to quit a habit and you become someone who has quit. You stop being someone who wants to start a business and you become a founder. The world doesn't change until you do. Your conditions are just the environment, but your decisions are the architect. You have the power right now, in this very second, to make a new choice that will alter the entire trajectory of your future. You can decide to raise your standards. You can decide to forgive. You can decide to give more than anyone else expects. Most people should all over themselves. I should do this, I should do this, I should do that. And then they wonder why their life hasn't changed. A should has no power. A must is where the magic happens. When you decide that something is a must, you find a way. You become resourceful, you wake up earlier, you work harder, and you think bigger because you've eliminated the option of failure. Your life today is the physical manifestation of the decisions you made 5 and 10 years ago. If you don't like the harvest you're reaping, you have to change the seeds you're sowing right now. Stop blaming the wind and start setting your sail. Your past does not equal your future unless you live there. The only thing keeping you from the life you want is the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't have it. And the only thing that breaks that story is a definitive, massive, immediate decision to act. The path to an extraordinary life is not a destination you reach and then stop. It is a relentless, ongoing process of constant and never-ending improvement. Most people in this world are looking for a hack, a shortcut, or a way to get it done once so they can finally sit back and relax. But the second you stop growing, you start dying. That is the law of the universe. Look at anything in nature. If it isn't growing, it's decomposing. Success is exactly the same. The moment you become satisfied with your current level of skill, your current level of income, or the current depth of your relationships, you have hit a plateau that will eventually become a decline. Training your mind for success means adopting a ritual of raising your standards every single day. You have to demand more from yourself than anyone else could ever possibly expect of you. If you're a leader, you don't compare yourself to the competition. You compare yourself to your own ultimate potential. This philosophy requires you to fall in love with the process of marginal gains. If you can improve just 1% in your physical health, 1% in your mental clarity, and 1% in your ability to add value to others every single day, the compounding effect over a year, 5 years, or a decade is staggering. Most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they completely underestimate what they can do in 2 or 3 decades of consistent growth. You have to feed your mind better food than the garbage the world tries to force feed you through the news and social media. You have to read the books, listen to the mentors, and surround yourself with people who play the game at a higher level than you do. If you are the smartest, most successful person in your circle is too small. You need to be in a room where your peak is someone else's starting point. That is how you stretch. That is how you expand your internal blueprint of what is possible. You must commit to being a lifelong student of your own life. You don't learn a skill, you master it, and then you find a way to make it even better. This isn't about being stressed out or never being happy. It's about the realization that the highest form of human happiness is progress. When you are making progress, you feel alive. When you are growing, you have something to give. And when you are growing, you have something to give. You have a life of meaning.